Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So a lot of people wanted to know how to take care of succulents once you receive them in postage, the bare rooted ones. Now over here, for example, you will receive your succulent like this, which is going to be completely tucked in a toilet paper. So you have to very carefully take them out. Now guys, most of the sellers, the ones that are very good with succulents, and they know and they have been doing their work for quite some time, are going to send you succulents bare rooted, which are completely bone dry. The roots are going to be dried up for at least 3 to 4 days, and then they are going to send it to you. So when you are going to receive your succulents in mail, this is how it's going to look like. This is how the roots are going to look like. They won't have any soil in them. They are going to be completely bare root, and this is how you are going to further go ahead and take care of your succulents. So you have your succulent like this. Now if you do not have the soil mix, let's say that you do not have the soil mix ready, or you do not have the pots ready, you can leave them out on your table for 24 hours like this, or for 1 or 2 days like this. There is no issue in that. As long as the succulent is well hydrated, you can keep them out of the soil for a day or so, but ensure that you do not prolong it more than this. Now talking about the pot size, I have a concrete pot over here. I have made a drain hole in it, and I'm just going to use a small little piece of leca and cover up the drain hole. And then we have our soil mix, which is a mix of aquarium sand and garden soil. So let me completely fill up this pot with the soil mix, and I'll get back to you with the remaining part. So guys, now that our soil mix is all ready, now it looks like it's completely full, but as and when we are going to water, the soil will start to settle down. Now the soil is little fluffy, so it looks like it's quite above, but as and when we are going to water it, we will have that little bit of edge, so that whenever we water, the water does not, or the soil does not spill over the pot. Now we are going to take our succulent. You can see this is the bare root, and we are just going to push it into the soil. Now we have to ensure that all of the roots are beneath. Nothing should be poking out. Everything should be beneath the soil, and just push a little bit of soil around, and there we go. So now we are done with the potting. Now you'll also notice one more thing. This is something that I always advise you guys. The best way to check is use your finger. So there should be this much amount of space between the succulent and the edge of the pot. This should be the good size, because over the period of time the succulent will start to open up, and then there won't be any space. So if you have a pot that the edge is really small, then it makes no sense, because your succulent is going to overgrow. So whenever you're planting a new succulent, ensure just use your finger, and the width should be just I don't know how do you measure this, but this is the space that should be between the succulent and the edge of the pot. And over the period of time, your succulent will start to overgrow, and it will cover up that space. But initially when you're potting it, go for a size like that, the width of the succulent like that. Do not keep it in a very narrow pot. So initially do not put it in a pot wherein the width is very narrow. Give it a good amount of space. And over the period of time, because it's an echuaria, it tends to grow wide. So this entire pot will be covered up. So that's all about it. Now the important thing is it should be kept in indirect bright light at least for 1 to 2 weeks, because it's a new succulent. It has to get settled in your environment. It has come from a very different environment, from a different city, or probably, let's say if you're importing succulents, it might have come from a different country. So it has to get acclimated and settled in your new environment. So you have to keep it in indirect bright light. The light has to be good bright. Do not keep it in a low light condition, otherwise the succulent will start to stretch. You can either keep it under a green shade cloth, or you can keep it under a filtration polycarbonate sheet, or whatever you have, you can place it, but ensure that you do not give direct sunlight for at least a week or so. To be on the safer side, for 2 weeks, just keep it in indirect bright light. Now the succulent is very well hydrated, so I do not need to be worried about the watering. I'll probably do it after a week or so. I can do a top watering, or I can do a bottom watering. So what I'm going to do is I'll give you an update of this video after a week whenever I'm doing the watering, because right now I'm just going to leave it as it is. And always remember, whenever you are potting your succulent, the soil has to be completely bone dry. So now another important thing, if you are a beginner, please do not add fertilizers right away. You have to at least wait for a month or so, because the succulent is getting acclimated to the new soil, to the new environment. So we do not want to overdose it with fertilizers. Now any which ways, this is an echuaria, and very soon it's going to be winter, so we will not be adding any fertilizers for this pot, because it's an genus of Echeveria, it tends to go dormant during the winters, so there is no question of adding any fertilizers. I personally do not add any fertilizers, but if you are a person who tends to use fertilizers, and if you have purchased Echeveria and you're doing a repotting right now in this season, then do not add any fertilizers. You can only add fertilizers during the spring or during the early summers when they are beginning to get into their growing period. Right now they are going to completely go dormant during the winters. So that's all about it. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.